Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy 8 p.m. And let's see, YouTube fam. Guess what? We are on a stable internet connection for once. I hope that anyone who is hopping on the other stream did not get confused. My computer froze, so I couldn't do it on my computer. Anyway, so today's topic is trust the process, trust the messy process, and essentially what this conversation is to me is life can get really messy and crazy sometimes. And hey Jay, hey Jay, Ronan, good to see you. Sometimes life gets just life. Sometimes our lives just get really hectic, and sometimes it feels very overwhelming. Sometimes it feels like life is going against what we want. Life is against us in a way. Life is just it's so chaotic, and we don't know what to do with it. And uh, this whole idea of trusting the process, just trusting that everything is meant to be. Amor fati. Amor fati is amor, love. Fati is fate, love of fate. Um, Alexito Pro, hey, good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us. So, trust the process for me is about just being at peace with anything that happens in our lives. So, I think a lot of people who watch my videos, a lot of students, and whether you're a student or you're an adult or whoever you are, just know that I know a lot of us, we all deal with anxiety in our life. We all have these moments where we feel stressed out. And one thing that I've been learning to do is trusting the process. Uh, Let me clarify that for anyone who doesn't, understand it. And I also want to mention I'm not the expert on here, so um, when I say not understand it, what I really mean by that is let me clarify what it means to me, trusting the process. To me, trusting the process is to just not stress out so much. I think we as human beings, we live in this society where it's very prone to anxiety, feeling stress. And sometimes I think if we just kind of relax a little bit, we'll see that there is no point in stressing so much in life. And oh, goodness, how do I say this? There's a lot of different thoughts right now. The first thought I have right now is sometimes we have people that we live with or around that stress us out. Like for example, parents, or let's say we have certain friends that stress us out. So there's a few things here. We can't control the parents that we have. Like the biological parents that we have, or maybe the parent realized my family is somewhat dysfunctional. I also want to say I love my family, as in like I think my parents did a great job raising us to the best of their abilities. So I am super appreciative of my mom and my dad. Anyway, so there's things in our control, there's things not in our control, and parents are things that are not in our control. So, but what is in our control is how do I say this? Is the amount of time we decide, the amount of time and the amount of energy we focus on things that are negative. So, one thing that I see a lot of, and one that I did a lot of when I was younger, was I used to, my life, my happiness, a lot of times depended on other people in terms of my parents. I always try to make my parents happy. And then I always wanted to hang out with friends and be validated by them, have fun, have a social life with friends. And I just would advise, please be careful with the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you spend time with. And I think a lot of people in high school, a lot of you, like we all want to be socially accepted. We all want that feeling of like we want to be validated. We want to be accepted, right? So it's a balance. It's like please don't sell your soul away just so you're accepted. Please don't try to like, I don't know, don't disrespect yourself so you're accepted by other people. Like honor yourself. If people try to peer pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do, honor yourself, have respect for yourself, and don't do it. So, wow, this conversation's going in a slightly different way. By the way, I do see your comments. I will. I always for the most part, get through every single comment that I read. One thing, by the way, if you see me kind of like looking around, what I'm doing right now is my computer completely froze, so I'm restarting it and I'm pulling up YouTube comments on my computer because it's easier to read than on my mobile device. So recording on mobile device, which has perfect internet supposedly, but wanting to read comments on the YouTube live on my desktop. So yes, that's what I have right now, and it should work. It should work rather smoothly. Um, Gus, I'm gonna respond to you real quick because I see your message. Nice work, great chat so far. Thank you, Gus. And for anyone, if I, quote unquote, missed your comment, I did not miss it. I will get to it in just a second. Please give me a few minutes to pull up my comments, which is coming very shortly, in like less than a minute probably. Okay, so again here, trust the messy process. Oh, I see it. Okay, hold on. Comments are almost pulled up. They are loading. They're loading. They're loading. Okay, so for my friends, for any of you watching on YouTube, which is all of you right now. So I'm not streaming on Facebook because again, technical issues, stuff like that. So I'm just not doing Facebook today. I'm focusing strictly on you right there. You right there. Okay. Let's dive into some comments and questions, and let's have a conversation today. Let's really dive deep and enjoy this moment that we have. Again, trust the process. We will get back to the topic and talk more about it. I think there's so much to learn here for you and for me as well. Like, I feel like as human beings, hold on, before I dive into comments, I just want to share this real quick. Again, human beings, we stress out way too much. Like, I think we just gotta stop stressing out so much. It's like, how do I say this? It's like today's Monday. Today's supposed to be Richard's work day. Richard's supposed to be super productive today. And what did I do today? I had a lunch meeting with my mentor, which was fantastic. It was amazing. But besides from that, like, I didn't really accomplish my to-do list items. And in a alternate reality, I would beat myself up and like, Richard, you failed today. You didn't accomplish what you did. And let me put this into school terms for any students. Let's say you failed the test. Let's say, you failed the test. You're like, oh my goodness, I failed the test. I didn't study for this. You're so stupid. Or, maybe I did study, but I still didn't do well. I'm so disappointed in myself. And I believe in this moment, I believe that instead of beating ourselves up, I think we just gotta stop doing that. Like, I think it's so unproductive to beat ourselves up. I think we just gotta stop doing that. Armando, good to see you on. I see Kitty Marie, good to see you on. Seductive Green Bean, good to see you on. Nelly Carlson, good to see you on as well. So yeah, it's just, I don't know how to say this. It's like, I get it. We want to be better. We don't want to be failing, but beating ourselves up is not healthy at all. Like, it's so like counterintuitive to being a human being. Like, just why do we put ourselves through suffering? So a grade is just a grade. And I'm not saying don't try. Please, if you're in school and you want to have a career and all that kind of stuff, like, do your best. Try to get as good grades as possible. But please don't spend your energy beating yourself up. And I get it. It's like you beat yourself up because you expect more of yourself. You want to do better. But at the end of the day, it's like, what is the point of life? In my opinion, and the general answer is to be happy. But it's like, for me personally, I spent so many years of my life beating myself up every single day, feeling inadequate, feeling like I wasn't doing enough. And I would hustle hard, I would work really hard, study a lot. I've pretty much, I don't think I've ever missed a homework assignment in my whole entire life. That's the kind of person I am. And it's just, I don't give myself credit for that. I give my mom the credit for that. Why? Because she's the one who instilled that kind of discipline into me. She's the one who was like, no, Richard, you have to do this. You have to do this. So a lot of credit to my mom. And, in this moment right now, like, I'm literally taking this moment to reflect on, what, in a way, like, what good did my mom do? Even though my mom was very kind of hard and, Asian, like, strict, what are the positives? Like, what positive characteristics or traits did I develop as a result to my mom being so tough on me? And honestly, I'm still haven't fully processed it, but I know that the fact that she instilled this idea of like, you have to do all your homework assignments. Probably, I mean, that relates with self-discipline, but I'm trying to figure out like how does that really show up in my life today? I'm not exactly sure in this moment, but I'm sure if I thought about it more, I'll figure it out. Okay. Again, today's topic I think is great. Trust the, in parentheses, messy process. We'll talk more about it, but let's dive into the comments and questions right now. So Nelly says, "Hello Richard, I was just watching your vids and just subscribed and turned on notifications, and now you're live." So so I see Alexito and Nelly, you're both new here, and maybe some other of you are new here. I think Gus, please forgive me. I don't think I've ever seen you on, and Jay Ronan. I think I saw you on before. Yeah. Anyway, so for anyone who's new on, I just want to let you know that this is how these live chats are structured. It's a bit of a community. Like for example, Kitty Marie's been on here for a while. Armando's been on here for a while. I assume Armando is the same Armando from before. That's I've seen several days ago and stuff like that. So like it's always cool to see the same people come on because we're always here to support each other, and we have good conversations. So welcome to the chat, and I hope you could stay. And if you don't choose to come back, that's perfectly okay. Like not even offended. But I just hope that you get value out of today's conversation because that's really the point. Like we're here to just support each other, help each other out, ask questions. This is an open forum, and yeah. So I'll start from there. Welcome, Alexito, Nelly, and anyone else who's hopping on for the first time. Seductive Green Bean, I don't think I've heard that name before. Seductive Green Bean says, "I'm depressed again. I shouldn't be, but I've been so down lately that I want to go back to cutting and have thought of suicide. I just don't see how I can get rid of this." So, Seductive Green Bean, first of all, thank you for sharing. That's you're not the first person who has mentioned that here for sure, and I want to say thank you for having the courage to be vulnerable and to reach out for support. It's tough, and first things first, I just want to say, Seductive Green Bean, like how do I say this? I really mean this. Like, this applies to everyone on here. Like, please don't be so hard on yourself, and it's okay to feel emotions. It's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to be depressed. It's, as human beings, we all have our ups and downs. And Seductive Green Bean, I'm sorry if please forgive me if I don't remember, or like I'm not clear on how much you know about me and these chats. I don't think I've seen your name before, but what I'll say is, if you've been watching my content recently, you might have heard me mention that in 2017, the first 6 to 7 months of 2017, last year, was a very dark period of my life where I could no longer see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like literally, it was just black. The tunnel was completely black. There was no light, and I'm like, what is the purpose of life? And I'm like, I hate my life. I don't want to live. And this is, so I want to give a little bit of context here for anyone who is new here. So let me give you a little perspective into the lens of Richard Kuo. It's like, I'm a year ago, and for the past 3 years, I've been this, the motivational speaker, Richard Kuo. I call myself an inspirational speaker. So in a way, I feel like I have this responsibility to show up for people, in the past, and still do. But it's like, how can a motivational speaker also feel like there's no point in life? Like, how are you supposed to help other people, with that kind of mindset? So you can imagine how kind of sad I felt last year for at least 6-7 months. There's a lot going on with my family, just a lot of challenges, and so unmotivated, and I just felt like I'll say it. It's, yeah. So I mean, I had thoughts. Oh, goodness, hold on. I need to make a disclaimer. Please hear me out when I say this whole entire thing. I had thoughts of suicide, but I did not commit or anything like that. Thoughts, and where that came from. For me, I know we're getting a little bit deeper here, but for me, what stopped me and prevented me from doing anything or even thinking further was knowing how much my brother cares about me and loves me. And honestly, like in that moment, I know that this is getting super deep and dark and stuff like that, but I think it's an important conversation to have because it's real. You know, it's I didn't just make this up. Um, really, like it was this idea of like, shoot, I don't know where I'm going here. Um, yeah, I just knew that I couldn't do that to my brother. You know, I couldn't allow him to live the rest of his life having this burden that his brother is not alive anymore because he decided to do something to himself. Um, and I'm just like, it sucked. It sucked because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. You know, like I don't want to deal with this pain. Like, why do we feel so much pain as a human being? So, um, anyway, Green Bean, back to you. Again, thank you for being on, and I know times get tough, and I just want to encourage you to continue just moving forward. I get it's so challenging to do that. One little quote that sticks in my mind is a it's like it's the name of a book that my one of my life coaching friends wrote, which is all storms will pass. Again, all storms will pass. So right now, Green Bean, you're in the middle of a storm, you know, a really heavy storm, and it just seems like it's unending. You know, you're getting poured on. There's like lightning. It's like it's super messy, uncomfortable. It's dark. Just know that eventually you'll get out of it. And I get it. Sometimes, again, sometimes we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we just don't see hope. And I don't want to be some cliche person, but I will tell you right now that those negative thoughts that I used to have seven, whatever it was at least 6 to 7 months ago from now, those thoughts are not really there. You know, like that dark. Oh, I'll say this. That dark period of my life is like it's gone for now. Will it come back? Maybe, possibly. You know, that's most definitely a possibility, and I think naturally as human beings we go through ups and downs. So yes, maybe it'll come back, but what I know is there's so much more to life than I thought there was, whatever, 7 months ago. So that's a lot to say. So my encouragement to you is, you know, keep reaching out for support, please. Like, I wish, I'll be honest, I wish I was a better resource. I wish I knew how to support you a little bit better. What I'll say for you right now, Green Bean, is that, you know, I'm here anytime. I live stream pretty much every single day. So if you need support, come hop on here. We have a great community of people here who are here to support each other. Also, have conversations like you're having right now. Reach out to people, as many people as you can to get that support. And let's see, in terms of you know, cutting. Kitty, I hope you don't mind that I kind of mention you here, but I know Kitty's kind of going through something similar. So, you know, reach out to Kitty, reach out to other people because you're not the only one dealing with this challenge. You know, there's so many of us. So, please, you know, reach out to each other and support each other. Have conversations. What are you feeling? What challenges are you going through? So yeah, please, please keep that up. And thank you so much for being here with us today. You know, it's I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you're sharing your feelings. You're wearing your heart on your sleeve, and it means a lot to me. And I hope that you continue to, you know, join us and share more about your journey. I'll tell you right now that most people on this chat, like, here's what I'll say: nobody has their life together. Nobody has their life together. So not just people on this chat, everyone. Like, nobody has their life together. We just pretend we have our lives together. So, Green Bean, you're not the only one, okay? And especially us. A lot of us are dealing with challenges, and we're doing our best to keep going and supporting each other and live a happy life. So, again, Green Bean, thank you for being here, and please continue to connect and you know, let us support you. I get it. I get it's tough. Yeah, we're here for you. Okay. To the best of our ability. Kitty Marie, good to see you on. Kitty says, cheer me up. Oh, I'm sorry that you're having a not so great day today. And, you know, it's honestly, a Green Bean, I don't know if Green Bean is still on right now, but if you are, I just want to say thank you again. Whether you are on or not, thank you for opening up this conversation into just vulnerability, because A lot of times we are afraid to share what's on our hearts and on our minds. And the fact that you just came in here and you just gave us something so vulnerable, um, it's starting the conversation. Like I haven't caught up with the comments yet, but I could already see that everyone is like really, kind of like talking about this already. Like we're all talking about this, the challenges and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Um, all right, so Kitty, for anyone who's struggling, that includes Green Bee Kitty, and I haven't read down yet, but life. What I'll say is, how do I say this? I want to say life is good. No matter if life feels really crappy right now, no matter if life is like just life is bringing you down, like life is just like it doesn't feel like there's a point in life. Just know that life is good, and what that means to me is that sometimes we can't see the light, and sometimes it feels very dark in our life, and just how do I say it? Just like let it be. Don't. How do I say this? It's this weird. I don't want to miscommunicate what my intention. It's like, in a way, with emotions. I'm gonna do my best here. So with emotions, what I felt best. This goes to trust the process. I think this is a perfect conversation. So trusting the process, which is the topic of today, is essentially just letting things be. Let it be. If you have a negative emotion, let it be. Not the purpose of let it be is not let the emotion just sit there and control your whole entire life. No, the purpose of the emotion of trusting the process, just letting things be, is as like whatever emotions you're feeling, just feel them. And what happens is when you allow yourself to genuinely just feel them, feel the depression, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the happiness, the joy, the love, the connection, the negatives and the positives, when you just let it to be, what happens is the emotions just flow. And if you haven't practiced this, it might be hard for it to make sense. But essentially, when we stop being so attached to our emotions, when we just let it flow, just let it be, feel our emotions, eventually it will come and it will go. And next thing you know, like, I mean, it might take some time, but next thing you know, quote unquote, the emotion will just go away, and you'll start being happy again. So, and then guess what? You let the happiness be too. If you're feeling happy, appreciate the moment and let it flow. If you are happy the next moment, great. If you're sad the next moment, great. Just let it flow. So, yeah, like for me, it's just about kind of being at peace and being okay with whatever emotions that we feel, quote unquote, positive or negative. Okay, so there we go. Kitty, in regards to cheering you up, hopefully this conversation, we're gonna keep diving into more and more questions and conversations. Keep the questions coming, and we're gonna dive into. I could already tell we're gonna have a really deep conversation today, as we are already having. And real quick, let me know how the live stream is doing. Is it completely smooth? You can hear me 100%, or is there a little bit of choppiness? I don't believe there should be any choppiness. Greenbee, I see that you just commented. Again, thank you for being here. Like I so appreciate you just being with us today. So, all right, let's continue on. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind. You guys are far ahead with the comments, but I want to make sure that we get to as many questions and comments, and I don't want to miss things. Okay. Alrighty. AJ, thank you for letting me know. Okay, Armando says, "While my process is sure a mess, if you know what I mean." Let's see here. Jay Ronald says, "Yeah, no, it's challenging to trust the process when it's so much easier to take the quick route, man. Choosing between acting, which is a very up and down career, becoming a physical therapist." Okay. What time do you usually stream? So Nelly, I should make this a little bit more clear. I stream at 8 p.m. Pacific time every single day. That's California time. So 8 p.m. California time, which is literally right now. So same time every single day. Right now, 24 minutes ago is when we started streaming. Okay, Armando says, hold on, whoops. Armando says, I'm going to draw a pretty nice lady, nothing special. Oh God, my puberty is kicking in. Wish me luck. What was that from? Jay Ronan says, woo, each one teach one. My friend always glad to be here. Ooh, I like that phrase. Each one teach one. To me, I don't know if to me that what that phrase means to me is in a way we could teach each other. You know, we're all here, we're students, but we're also teachers. You know, we're teachers, but we're also learners. So I like that. You know, I'm a huge fan of not only kind of sharing whatever my knowledge is to you and my experiences, but also learning from all of you because you know, I feel humbled that I'm in this room with so many great personalities, and you know, I'm Green Bean. Green Bean, I'm talking to you too. Like, um, Green Bean, you've gone through things that I've never gone through before. Kitty Marie, you've gone through things I've never gone through before, and you know, Armando, the rest of you as well. But I'm just saying, like, you all have such a wealth of information that, of course, I'm sure you know Kitty. I'm specifically saying Kitty and Green Bean. You wouldn't wish upon the way you're feeling on other people, um, but it's like, unfortunately, that you have to go through it. But you have this experience that nobody else ever has, or how do I say this? This experience that not many people have, and there's so much power and light, and I know it's very dark, but there's so much power in it. There's so much wisdom and knowledge that like people like me who I've never gone that deep, I've never physically harmed myself like that. Um, like I don't know what it's like there, and there's so much power to it, and there's so much. The darker, how do I say this? In my opinion, the darker your life is, the lighter your life will be. Because for people who like darkness creates light. So if you have a dark life, you see light so much brighter. While if you have a kind of like a dull medium light, um, your brights aren't as bright. So uh, I hope that makes sense. It's like it, our darkness gives us perspective to our light. So embrace the challenges that you go through. You know, um, they happen. We're human beings. We all go through challenges. So yeah. All right, let's continue on here. Katie Marie says, "Green Bean, you are amazing. Cutting yourself does not help you in any way. I understand. It leaves scars. Maybe you can try therapy or find a friend or diary. Stay strong. You are worthy." Kitty, thank you so much for that comment to Green Bean. That means a lot. Jay Ronan says, "Green, here's the thing. We as human beings, we go through the toughest and most energy destroying path in life, and it seems like everything is falling apart. Everyone has to go through it. The only thing I can tell you is to find your anchor. I found my anchor in quote unquote life itself. After attempting suicide a month ago, I found love and hope in traveling and seeing the world and creating videos to meet and talk with different people and places that I think is wonderful. I know you're in a storm and it's no shelter in the storm, but hopefully you know we're here for you." Jay Rodden, thank you so much for that comment. To Green Bean, like that's super connecting and engaging. Like whew, goodness, I'm getting a little emotional. Okay, Kitty says, "Richard, you know how I lean on you, right? Should I listen to the positive things you say and let you become my voice instead of listening to my negative self?" Hmm. Um, Let me see here. What I'll say with this is, if you're going to listen to my positive voice, Kitty, what I want you to listen to, I want you to. I don't want anyone in this chat to listen to everything I'm saying. I want you to um, take the things that resonate with you and ignore anything that does not resonate with you. So if I say something and you know, like let's say I'm like super passionate about something, if I tell you something but it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it because that's your heart telling you um, that it doesn't resonate with you, and that's perfectly okay. You know, I'm not here to you know, like say you got to believe everything I believe. Like please don't. Like we all have the right to our own opinions. So take what resonates with you, and you have to kind of trust your heart on that. And if it feels good, like you know, like hey, you know what, that I like that, like that really makes sense to me. I like that. Then that means yes. But if I say something and it feels a little bit off, like I don't know, like um, A, it's either it doesn't resonate with you, or B, you want to be mindful of this. There's a difference between something that doesn't resonate with you and something that is just challenging you. So, Kitty, for example, I'm just gonna make up an example real quick. Like Kitty, let's say I'm like, you know what would really support? What's a good example here? Okay, yeah, goodness, I don't want to use this example. Um, okay, let's say there is a um let's say there's an overweight person. This is not the best example, but I'm sorry, this is the one example that's coming to my mind right now. Let's say there is a overweight person, and I make a suggestion like, hey, um, the overweight person is trying to lose some weight, and they're having a super hard time losing weight, and I'm like, hey, you told me you're trying to lose weight. Are you open to any kind of suggestions? And the overweight person's like, yeah, 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 sure. What are your suggestions? And I'm like, well, first of all, I think eating those donuts is probably not really supporting you in losing weight. And then let's say this person is like, what? No, no, no. Like I'm exercising a lot. I eat really healthy, but I just eat like 6 donuts a day, whatever it is. And they get upset. Now, that's one of those moments where it's like, okay, is it not resonating with you, or am I just challenging you in a way um, that's something you don't want to do, and you're just resistant to it because you're so used to that habit. Okay, I don't want to get. Hopefully that makes sense. Alrighty. Let's see here. All right, Armando says this is embarrassing for me. Richard, you really have a good point of not pushing yourself off in a negative way. It's just that you need to have the right balance of self-awareness and carelessness, so you don't end up um, repeating the cycle. Tell me about it. I tried to make myself sick so I didn't have to go to school, and then I was pretty young and stupid back then. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, one thing, I think self-awareness is a really powerful skill. It's probably, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs say this. A lot of entrepreneurs say self-awareness is probably one of the best skills you could develop, and it's this self-awareness to me is like this ability to self-evaluate, to see oneself, understand our own strengths and weaknesses, understand how, in a way, other people perceive us. Although that's a whole nother boat. Like for example, I don't know how all of you perceive me. That's next level stuff. I think that's a little bit too nitty gritty. Like I don't need to know exactly how you perceive me, but I know enough to kind of be able to connect with you. Like empathy is important to me. So yeah, that's what I have. All right. Nellie Carlson says, I never have the feeling of hurting myself. I can feel very depressed and suicidal, but I can't imagine why people would cut or hurt themselves. Please don't hurt yourself, Green Bean, says Nellie. So, yeah. So, Nellie, I feel like I'm in the same boat. And by the way, this is not to diminish or devalue anyone and anyone's ways of dealing with stress and hard situations. I'm not judging at all. Whatever people do, it's like however you're dealing with things is however you're dealing with things, and it's okay to, how do I say this? Be yourself. Of course, I'm not. Let me be clear here. I'm not encouraging people should quote unquote be themselves and cut themselves. I'm just saying like acceptance of anyone for whoever they are and however you do things. It's just we're human beings, so we need a certain outlet. So I'm not here to judge anyone who cuts themselves. I'm just saying, like Nelly, myself, I've never cut myself. I'm very grateful for that. I also don't understand why people cut themselves, but I'm not judging either. I understand that people do it for a reason, because it makes them feel a certain way. There are certain chemicals in our brain, like whatever endorphins or whatever. Like when we cut ourselves, it makes us feel more alive. That's kind of what I've heard from people. So, yeah, exactly. People have different coping methods. Absolutely. So, I agree. Like, my hope is that people do not hurt themselves and cut themselves and things like that. Um, Again, I'm not an expert on it. I that's my hope, and all I have the all I have to offer is I guess my own kind of perspective slash approach of acceptance. Self acceptance, teaching in a way helping people to see their own self worth, and that's why I focus on what I do. Again, I had never lived everyone's life before, so I don't know everything that you're going through, but I've lived my life that has been full of my own challenges of self-esteem, low self-esteem, depression, very low self-worth growing up. So that's what I have to offer to any of you on. And please, anyone who's on right now, which by the way, I super appreciate everyone who's on. This is one, in my opinion, this is one of the deepest conversations we've had in a while. Going deep stuff. So I would appreciate anyone else's knowledge, and I so appreciate the fact that many of you have relatable experiences where maybe you've either attempted suicide before, you've cut yourself, you've done these things before. So your perspective, like I need you to to support everyone else here because I haven't been through everything, and your perspective is going to help other people so much. So please support me in, helping the other people in the chat because I don't have all the experiences that you all have. So thank you. All right. 25 years old? What's that? Why is there a question mark there? Armando, what do you mean by 25 years old? Are you asking me or asking someone else or what? You can let me know what you mean by that in the chat. Kitty Marie says, the thing you said to me on another stream made me so happy. You said some things people never say to me. I thought you would make a perfect friend. Do you want me to explain why some people do that? Kitty, yeah, I think that would be great to kind of hear why some people, I'm guessing, would cut themselves. I think that would be, interesting wisdom to hear about. So I'd love to hear kind of what you know about that. Armando says, I think you cut yourself whether you're in pity or just a total savage, as in toughest dude on the street. Vinio says, why? Armando says, I was guessing your age. Oh, my age? If you're guessing my age, it's funny. I feel like I see this on every single stream for some reason. It's not like I want to share, focus on my age, but for some reason my age keeps coming up. I'm 28. So there we go. For me, I don't really care about age. Like age, like people say, age is just a number. The reason why I kind of share my age is because I believe in a way, like, yeah, it's not like I'm proud of it. Like, I'm 28. Yeah. To me, being 28 it's like a reminder. For me, it's just be. Like that's 28 to me. 28 to me means I've lived 28 years of my life, which is like, I don't want to say good or bad, but it's like I get to reflect on, oh my goodness, I've lived 28 years, which means I've had a lot of time to learn new things, and I could also look back at my 28 years and be like, where did I screw up? Where did I not? Where could I have done better? So things like that. That's why that's why I love hearing how old people are, because it gives me perspective of how much time you've had to live, and it's like it helps me understand you. Helps me understand you a little bit better. Ventroy, good to see you on, brother. Yeah, long time no see. Green Bean says, for me, I'm guessing cutting is calming. Maybe I think it's nice that I have actual proof I'm alive. Maybe it's the utter self-hatred at what I've become, or how far off I am from what I wanted to be. Okay. I'm not trying to call you out or whatever. I want to read this again so, it kind of sinks in for me, so I understand it on a deeper level. I could empathize with it a little bit more. So cutting to you it's calming. It's actual proof that you're alive, and maybe it's the utter self-hatred at what I've become, or how far off I am from what I want to be. Okay, so thank you for sharing. I think it's a mix. It's probably a mix of a lot of different things. So let's see. Maybe it's nice that I don't have to feel anything for a bit afterwards. Okay. Green Bean, thank you for sharing, and yeah, thank you very much for kind of, in a way, it's kind of like it's educating us. Green Bean, by the way, like, please let me know if this conversation is going in kind of a uncomfortable way where it's like you just appreciate, not talking about these things. For me, it's interesting. Just as a human being, I'm most definitely interested. I'm always trying to learn and grow and empathize and understand people. So to me, it's meaningful to have these kind of conversations. So just let me know if I'm going too far in the deep end, and then we could change the conversation. I just want to be respectful for anyone. I just want to make sure I'm not being insensitive. That's all. Um, okay. Like what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to empathize with like how that might feel and why like one might do it in a way. Um, okay, interesting. So there's like what I'm sensing. Goodness, I don't know how beneficial this is, but like what I'm sensing is when you cut yourself, there's like a little bit of a I mean there is pain, right? A little bit of pain, but it's calming, whatever. Proof that you're alive. Okay, and then in a way, it's a scar that reminds you of how you're not good enough in a way, or like something self hatred. We'll go with that. Okay. I kind of get I kind of get it. So anyway, we'll continue this conversation and work through it. Um, yeah. So what I goodness, how do I say this? Here's what I want to do. Green bean. This is for you and anyone else, Kitty Marie, anyone else who's on. I know I repeat this sometimes, so I want to keep it short. How do I say this? So if you don't mind, I want to share with you a little bit about my story. Kind of my own story, struggling with whatever you want to call it, depression, low self-esteem, low self-worth, and very low confidence. So I grew up always comparing myself. I'll try to keep this short and sweet for people who have already heard this before. Um, I grew up in Orange County, California. Not super rich, not super poor either. But there's a lot of financial struggles with my parents still. Um, my mom was a very traditional Asian mom who had high expectations, expected all her three children to get straight A's. My brother and sister were the A students, always top of the class, like super overachievers. They were top of the class, not just academics. My brother was a great athlete. He broke league records. He was part of a lot of clubs, very social. And for myself, I was always living in my brother and sister's shadow. And I was always trying to be like my older brother and sister, and I never was. I never got straight A's. I was overweight growing up. Let's see. Yeah, I was a chubby kid growing up. I know it might be hard to imagine now. I've lost at least I don't know, like 50, 60 pounds in my life. So I've lost a lot of weight. Anyway, very insecure with my body. I've already explained how like I remember one time when I was little, when I used to soap, take a shower or whatever, and I used to like put soap on my body. I would feel so guilty because I felt like I was so fat that I was wasting soap because I had more surface area on my body, and so if I lost weight, I wouldn't have that problem. So those are like the real conversations that I had at a young age. So, yep, I just had a lot of low self worth and all this stuff, and what I realized for myself is I don't have that same low self worth that I did when I was younger. And what changed it was a process. It took time. But what helped me change it was number one, it was stop comparing myself with my brother and sister. I always thought I was never good enough until I got those straight A's, just like my brother and sister. I thought I was not good enough until I was as skinny and fit as my brother and sister, as social and good at everything else as my brother and sister. And it took me probably 23, 24 years of my life to understand this concept. But finally, at the age of 23, I'm 28 now. At the age of 23 or 24, I finally realized I don't have to be like my older brother and sister. I don't need to keep comparing myself with my brother and sister who are massively successful at what they do. My brother at the age of 25 was already managing 200 to 300 employees. He was a store manager at Target, which is a retail store, one of the biggest ones. Most of you probably heard of Target. But Imagine this 25 year old managing 2 to 300 employees. Granted, the majority of his employees are older than him. You know, all the managers that report to my 25-year-old brother are older than him. He has some that are, late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and he's only 25 and managing this whole store. That's my brother. Sister running her own successful IT recruiting company. Richard's, being a bum, playing video games, failing out, massively struggling at life, can't get his life together. So I had so many insecurities. But what kind of shifted that for me was to stop comparing myself with my brother and sister and to start being kind to myself. So that's kind of how I got out of the hole of, feeling all that low self-worth. And this goes into self-worth. How do you redefine self-worth conversation? How do you change that mindset? And for me, I don't define my self-worth just by, the way I look or, by whatever my accomplishments. Now my self-worth is, I would say a lot of my self-worth today is built on the foundation of the person that I am, the character that I have. It's not how popular I am. It's how much in integrity am I with myself. And I do struggle. I'm not perfect. I took a 2-hour nap. I'm being very honest here. I took a 2-hour nap like a couple hours ago, which I shouldn't have done. So I should have been working instead, but I didn't. I took a 2-hour nap. So that's not in integrity with me. I know I should be doing something. But anyway, this goes back to trust the messy process, which is forgive yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm not going to beat myself up that I took a 2-hour nap and, whatever, wasted time. We could talk about reasons and excuses and blah, blah, blah. But the main thing here is it's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. Green Bean, Richard, don't be so hard on yourself. Just let it be. Just allow yourself to just be a human being, Let go of all the expectations that the world, your parents, your peers, your teachers have on you, and you just do you. And that's what I have to say. So, of course, everyone wants the best of you. Everyone wants you to succeed in your life, but there's no point in putting so much pressure on yourself to the point where you just hate your life. There's no point in listening to your parents who are like, who are pushing you so hard that you just hate it and you want to commit suicide. Like, I'm thinking about the typical Asian. This is so, I don't want to say it's so common, but it's happened a lot in the past. I haven't read or listened to a lot of Chinese people talk about this, but I know when I grew up, teen like high school and college student suicides were huge. Why? Because there was so much pressure on Asian parents telling their children that they have to get straight A's, they have to become a doctor, they have to succeed, and if they don't, they're a failure. They're gonna life is gonna be miserable. And guess what? They have so much pressure that they decide, you know what? I don't want to live anymore. And guess what they do? They take their life. That's what they do. So, like, there is no reason why we need to live like that. And if you have that external pressure from society, from your parents, from other people, this is one of those moments where, and yourself, especially yourself, if you have that pressure from yourself, this is one of those moments where we got to stop and be like, you know what? It's time to shift the way we think about life, So, anyway, we could talk more about it, but I'll stop there. Let's get back to this conversation right here. Okay. Sorry, I want to catch up with conversations right now, so let's do this. Jay Rodden says, everyone's reason is different depending on why, what they're going through. Asian genes are amazing. I thought you were 21. Haha, nice. Venture says 28. I thought you looked around 22. Interesting. Wow. So everyone thinks I'm a lot younger than I actually am. I guess I'm grateful for that. Green Bean says maybe. Oh, I already said that. Jane Ronan says, my friend, there are so many other ways to get that realization. Correction, there are. Okay. Vinio says, I hate when people are who aren't depressed cut themselves and then they just show it to others. Here's what I'll have to say to that, and around this topic of people who cut themselves, whether or not you're depressed or not. Do people cut themselves if they're not depressed? How do we know? How do we know if people do? From my perspective, and you have your own. I respect your own opinion. My opinion on that is, Um, if people are cutting themselves, they're cutting themselves for a reason, and I honor and I respect whatever reasons people have for cutting themselves. Like, I'm not saying it's a good thing to do. I'm just saying I honor, I respect that we're all human beings and we all make our own decisions, and it's there's a reason for it. It's just that's what I have to say. Yeah, and it's like their their intention is not to hurt other people. Of course, they're hurting themselves, but their intention is not to hurt other people. If their intention is to hurt other people, then to me personally, my opinion, that would upset me. Um, but I mean, I would most definitely prefer people just not harm themselves or harm other people. Okay, so I'll say that. Armando says, yeah, I think it's more of a bashing your head over the wall kind of thing, but way more extreme. I had the kind of thinking over a while when I had low self esteem. I would just cry. Me too. Okay. Green Bean says, sometimes it's people calling out for help, but yeah, when people fake mental illness, I get a little angry that they think it's sort of a game. Um, Interesting. So here's here's what I have to say. This is a very interesting conversation about like people faking mental illness. I can see that. I accept people who, quote unquote, fake mental illness. I do believe that, maybe some people don't have mental illness, but they fake it. But I have, what's the word for it? Empathy. I have empathy. Like, I understand because yes, they are looking for attention because they're not getting the attention. And for me, I just want to give my own little wisdom perspective, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I honor, how do I say this? It can be annoying if people are calling for attention. It can be annoying, but I respect people's actions because there's always a reason why people do what they do. And I think it's more important to understand why people do what they do versus just judging and just not liking them for doing it. So for me, if people are faking mental illness, to me that means they just want attention, and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. I think they're looking for attention because they never got it from whatever their parents growing up because they lived in a very dysfunctional household or something like that. Anyway, of course, yes, I want everyone to improve. I want everyone to not seek attention in that way. But everyone has their process, and we are all kind of in a way screwed up in our own ways, and we're all human beings. We're all trying to learn. So my encouragement is let's just give everyone the space to, just accept them for who they are, accept ourselves for who we are, let ourselves to just grow as human beings, and do whatever we need to grow because it's a messy process. Trust the messy process. We're kind of screwed up, and we just got to keep growing one little step at a time. Okay. Jay Ronan says, everyone's calling out in some shape or form for sure. Sadly, people who lie about it, this are simply going to seeking attention. Yep, same thing. Managing employees might be my new jam. Awesome. Jay Ronan says, good luck. What? Good luck. It's so nerve wracking when it's not something you enjoy. I would know I managed 4 stores in a row. My brother loves what he does, by the way. So going back to that conversation of my brother managing 200 to 300 employees, he loves what he does. So he's perfectly okay with that. He's passionate about it. Armando says, "Oh, geez, by the way, you're saying it. By the way you're saying it, I might be a video game bum or a successful cooker of some sort in the future. Um, video game bum or a successful cooker in the future. Hey, trust Armando. Trust the process. Like." You keep doing you. Of course, whatever. I want to say be wise or like continue taking responsibility for your life and not just letting your life dictate your life. Do what you're passionate about. It's your life. Keep pursuing that goal or passion that you have. And if you don't know what that passion is, or keep looking for it. You'll get there. Okay. Hey, Prime Nick. Good to see you on again. I remember. The one comment that I remember from you, and let's hopefully this will change. I'm like, why are you talking for 5 people? Now we're talking for 8. What now? I'm just messing around. But thanks for being one of those 8 people who are on right now, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you more, having more conversations. Kitty says, in Asian culture, aren't they very worried about not honoring their family? Anyway, my family is white but can relate. Yes, Asians are very traditional Asians are very about honoring the family. I agree with that for sure. Um, I am clearly not very Asian. I am Asian American. My parents are, they grew up overseas in Taiwan. I grew up here in the States, and I'm very much an American, and I have that more individualistic idea, the Western philosophy. So I do my best to respect my parents who have, their Eastern philosophy, but also learning to adapt Western. I do my best to respect them, but I also understand I got to respect my own needs and my own way of being. So, yes. Nelly says faking mental illness is a mental illness. Uh, in a way, how do I say this? I don't want to label it as mental illness, but I hear what you're saying, and I can kind of see where there is some truth to that. But I don't want to say that like that's a fact. Anyway, we'll go from there. Kitty says you're so kind, Richard. Can we call you Angel? Goodness, if you want. Mason Smith, hey, good to see you on. First time I've seen you on, so welcome if that is the case. Mason says I'm failing geometry. Any tips for next term when I take it? Let's see. So my tip to you, and anyone feel free to add in your own tip. My tip to you, if you are failing geometry, is this is challenging. It's like it's hard to support because there's so many different reasons why you might be failing. Um, in general, I mean, this sounds so stereotypical, but like if you're failing a class and you want to do better, that means one, you get to put more effort into the class. I know that sounds so obvious, but that's really it. You got to put more effort into it. If you're failing, you want to improve, put more effort into it. My suggestion to you is learn to work smarter, not harder. Okay, work smarter, not harder. So figure out, pause for a second, slow down your brain. Like our minds are sometimes they're everywhere. Like oh, I don't know how to say. Like I gotta study more. This is so difficult. Pause. Calm down for a second. Take a breath. Calm your mind. And when you have a calm mind, you can make a better decision as to, I wonder what's going to help me study better. Is it going to help me study better to stay after school, ask for help from teachers? Will it help me better to study with friends? Would it help me better to, Google help, use what was that website? What was it? Alpha Ram, Wolf, Alpha Ram, Beta, something like that. Do people still use that? That was after my time, but I know that was a really cool tool to use. Anyway, yes. So Mason saying I turn all my schoolwork and homework. I just flunked the test. I stay after school. So Mason, I'm very much like you too. I'm one of the people who I do all my homework, I do all my work, and sometimes I fail my test because I don't understand the concept. So I'm in the same boat. Number one, Mason, try to not be so hard on yourself. That's number one. I think when we are hard on ourselves, we start developing this mindset of, man, I'm so stupid. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. And like if I were to go back to school with my more healthy mindset of not beating myself up and feeling I'm stupid, I think I'd actually do better in school today than I did back then. Not because I'm older and wiser, although that is an advantage, but rather because of my mindset of my old self used to say, Richard, you're stupid, you can't do it, you're not capable. Now my mindset is, Richard, you are capable, you are smart, you can do it. And it's all internal conversation. So whatever you believe about yourself will become your truth. So if you believe you can't do it, guess what? That's what you're going to become. So, learn to be patient, learn to start being more encouraging to yourself. You are not stupid. Nobody is stupid. Sure, maybe some people might be, better at school or absorbing information than others, but it does not mean you're stupid. So please do not ever say that to yourself. That applies to everyone on here. Nobody is stupid, okay? And I'm not just trying to be this, inclusive person that's cheesy and cliche. It's like we all have our strengths. We all have our weaknesses. It's okay to not be strong in school, but it does not mean that you can't do well in school. It just means that you got to put in more effort than other people in order to get the grades that you want. And I'm one of those people. I'm a prime example of someone who had to push really hard to get the grades that I wanted, because I was not my brother and sister. I was not. My brother was one of those people who didn't have to study and he still did really well in school because he was naturally talented and gifted in that way. Okay. Green Bean says, ask the teacher for help. Ask to show that you want to learn and always ask questions. Questions can't be stupid if they mean something to you. I like that a lot. Thank you, Green Bean. Alexito says, in my country, some people enter to bus in order to get money by begging and explaining their problems. It's kind of annoying knowing that sometimes people lie about their problems to get easy money. I agree with you in that one. We mostly want to help people, but seeking reality, we sometimes don't trust on them. Alexito, I agree with you on that. Like, I understand that there's a lot of I don't want to use the word con artists, but there's a lot of people who lie. A lot of people who lie because they want to get money. I remember when I just graduated college, I was in a part, I went to go get some groceries at a grocery store, and someone's like, hey, can you give me can you spare me some change, like just $5? I need to get to Riverside, which is like I don't know, like 30 miles away. I just need a little bit of cash for some gas to get there. I'm low on gas. Can you help me out? And this is when I was a little bit more like naive or like uncertain, and I was weird. It's like I felt bad for this person, so I gave them $5, and I couldn't help but notice. I looked at their gas meter, and I was calculating the gas. I'm like, what? No, I'm looking at your gas. Like, yes, it's low, but that is enough gas for you to get to where you need to go. And anyway, point is, here's how I see it. Sure, maybe people might lie about the reasons why, they need money. And again, for me, I'm not here to judge people. So let's say that person didn't use the money on gas, which I'm pretty sure they didn't. But for me, it's like, if they're going to the point where they're in a way like asking / begging for money, it means they need it to some extent. And granted, some people might not put it to good use. I'm sure there's a lot of fake beggars who, because it's easy money, they beg, like that's kind of like their job, and they take the money and they buy a Louis Vuitton wallet with it, or a purse, like a Coach bag, whatever it is, because it's easy money. I don't know how to say it. Like, I try not to judge people, but that also makes me, yes, that does make me careful with how I give my money to strangers as well. So, yeah, that's what I have there. Mason says, thank you. I'm definitely going to start believing in myself more. Mason, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And yes, we'll continue that little conversation in just a little bit. Kitty says, I always say negative things to myself. I'm trying to get your positive to come on me. Help. Let's see. Okay, so if you have negativity, honestly, my thing is, for anyone who's dealing with negativity, like that negative voice in your mind, how do I say this? I want to say, don't misinterpret my words, but I just want to say, don't worry about it so much. Like, we all have negative conversations. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to be like, oh man, I'm so negative. Man, my life is so like. Trust the process. Trust the messy process. That is today's topic of the day, and there we go. Trust the process. Just know, trust that you will, over time, become more and more positive. Yes, you got to put in the work. It doesn't come out of nowhere. But trust the process means, you put in the work, and know that the results don't always show up right away. But as long as you keep pushing yourself to become better, be more positive, guess what? You will become more positive. And it will come in ways that you don't even realize it will come in. For example, let's say you're trying your best to be positive, right? You're like, oh man, this is so hard, I can't do it. And then you're like, you know what? Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. Guess what? Little random things that are completely unexpected might happen. For example, this is made up, but for example, Kitty, let's just say we're having a conversation and you're like, man, I'm feeling so negative. But then, I'm really trying to be positive. Guess what? You making that comment is because you are making the effort to be positive. And because you did that, maybe someone on the stream or myself might be, hey, Kitty, maybe you should check out. Let's see. Maybe you should check out the book The Happiness Advantage by Sean Acor. I just kind of made that up. That is a real book. Um, but maybe I don't really remember. Maybe if someone recommends you something like the Happiness Advantage by Sean Acor, and then you read it, you're like, oh my goodness, this changed my life. Like this changed the way I completely thought about happiness and negativity and positivity. So my point is, sometimes when we put the effort in, we create these little moments where things might shift our life. Like for me, um, 4 years ago, you know, I was struggling a lot with myself, my insecurities, everything, and I was like, I started putting it out into the universe and telling people, hey, I want to become a life coach slash speaker, and I was really nervous because I'm like, I'm not really qualified to help people because my life is pretty screwed up right now too, and but what ended up happening was I started having conversations with people because I tried, and I'm like, yeah, I want to become a coach, but I know I need to work on myself more. And then one day, one of my friends, her name is Kayleen, she's like, "Hey, Rich, let's grab some coffee. I think I have something for you." So we grabbed some coffee, and we started talking, and she started telling me about this training program, transformational training program. I did it. I did the transformational training program, and it changed my life. Like, this is the reason the transformational training program is the reason why I lost. I I got a six pack for the first time in my life. It helped me go from the 210 pounds down to the 147 pounds. So I lost over 60 pounds. Not in the 3 months that I was in it, but like I lost 15 pounds. But it helped me create mental discipline. It helped me find my own voice. It helped me become more confident with myself, to love myself more. And it was all because I put in the effort to just put myself out there slowly, hesitantly, but it happened. So my tip for you, if you want to kind of shift to more positive, yes, hang out with more positive people. Stay away from any kind of negative sources. Of course, you're living with yourself, so if you are your source of negativity, you just have to deal with that. There's not much you can do with that. So, but like if your parents are negative, if your friends are negative, first of all, you can choose your friends. So if your friends are being negative, get away from them. Parents, we can't choose our parents, but we can choose how much time we spend with our parents. So, to some extent. So do your best to get away from any kind of negativity. Focus on you. Focus on positivity, and hang out with us. I think this chat is. We talk about serious things. Like depression, suicide, hurting, self harm, that kind of stuff. But this is a very positive, forwarding conversation that we have here. Yes. Alrighty. Let's see. Armando, I see your comments. Why at least $5? Alexito says, we try to be optimistic in our life, but in my opinion, life is always against us, like pushing backwards instead of rewarding you, even if you deserve something nice. Uh, Alexito, I see where you're coming from there. I'm going to respectfully disagree. That does not invalidate your opinion. My perspective is, I believe that life is pushing back at us is a limiting belief. I believe that belief comes from how you were raised in your environment and all the, everything, how you were raised in your environment that contributed to having that belief that everything is against you. I get it because I've been there too. Life felt like it was against me too. But and this is where transformational training has made such a big difference in my life, where it's shifted the way I look at life. And when you again, trust the process. Trust the process. What trust the process means is to just let go. And when you start trusting that the universe is on your side, that everything is working with you to achieve your goals, your mindset will start shifting, and you'll start seeing how the world is abundant. You'll start seeing how everyone in the world is here to help you. And I know that might seem really fake and unrealistic, but it's like, in a way, we create our own realities. And every single day, my affirmation is, the universe is on my side. Like everything is working with me, for me, whatever it is, versus everything is working against me. As long as you keep that belief that everything is working against you, guess what? Like what you believe is going to happen. So if you believe, I don't remember that. Oh, I think it's a Henry Ford quote, which is whether you, sorry, might be someone else. Whether you believe you are wrong or you're right, you are right. This idea of it doesn't matter what you believe. If it's wrong or right, you're right. You're going to believe what you want to believe, and that's going to become your reality. So, you have a choice. Do you want to, you know, do you want to be, how do I say this? This is another great quote that I like. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? I would rather be happy. It's sometimes we have our certain belief, this belief that we're so stuck on. And Alexito, I'm not trying to like, what is it, hound you or whatever it is. I'm just having conversation here. So, yeah, I don't think life is pushing backwards. I know sometimes it feels like that, but in my opinion, because I want to move forward, I believe everything is working with us, and I choose to continue pushing towards that direction of everything is working with me. So I hope that's supportive. If not, then yeah. Kitty says, hang out here. What do you mean by that? Kitty, no, you're not hurting my feelings or anything like that at all. I really, Kitty, you do not need to worry about that. I don't think, for the time being, I cannot see how you could hurt my feelings. You can call me whatever names you want. I'm not going to take offense to anything you say. Like, I can't see myself being offended or hurt by you. Like, if you decide one day you're like, Richard, you suck, I hate your comments, your content, your live streams suck, and, like, you're such a liar, like, all this stuff, like, I don't think I would get that offended. It's, how do I say this? In a way, I know myself enough to, how do I say this? To know that I'm doing the best that I can. And, I will respect your opinion. I will consider it. I'll be like, I wonder why Kitty would think that my stream sucks and my content sucks. Is there a way that I can improve it? That's all I'll get to. But I'm not going to be offended. It's like, that is your opinion. So you're not going to offend me. Okay. And if I feel offended, great. It's just an opportunity for me to grow and learn. So please, I invite you to offend me or whatever it is. Be honest with me. I don't care. I would rather learn and grow than to be offended. Like, being offended is nothing. Yeah, I was giving an extreme example. I know you're not going to say that on purpose. Thanks, Kitty. Jay Ronan says, hold on. All right, friend, I'm going to go live stream. I look forward to the next stream, or if I'm done before you, I'll definitely come back and I'll say, stay up, everyone. Love you all. Jay, thank you so much. I appreciate you for hopping on. Confucius says, he who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both usually right. There we go. Was it Confucius who said that? Either way, great quote. Alrighty, so it is 9:13 right now. We've been streaming for an hour 13 minutes. For those of you who are new on the stream, what we do is we tend, when we start wrapping up, usually after the hour, we always go a little bit longer for some reason because we have great conversation. So I'm going to recap today's conversation, give a summary. And then as I'm doing that, feel free to ask any additional questions that I'll answer before the live stream shuts off. But let's do this right now. Okay, so today's topic is trust the messy process. To me, what this means is trust, like, whatever's happening in your life, good or bad, trust that it's happening for a reason. Amor fati. Amor fati means, amor is love, fati means fate. Love of fate. Love the fate that you have. Love the hardships that you're going through. It is okay to go through hardships. Everyone, we all have hardships, of course, to different degrees, but it is okay to go through hardship. Hardships are going to help you see more brightness, more color into your life once you get over this storm, because all storms will pass. Okay, so trust the process. Trust that whatever's happening to you right now, whatever hardships you're going through, it's here for a reason. It's going to help you grow, and you are going to come out on the other side stronger, better. Just keep fighting, keep pushing through. Anytime, trust your heart. Anytime you feel like you need some support or you're struggling, reach out for support. Ask people for help. Ask your friends, your family, your siblings, whoever it is, for like, hey, like, I know this is kind of embarrassing, but I'm having this challenge, and I felt like you're someone I could talk to. Can I talk to you about this? Have open conversations. It's scary. It's scary opening ourselves up, being vulnerable. But sometimes we need that. We get to lean on other people to support us. As human beings, how do I say this? I was gonna say, teamwork makes the dream work. That's a popular phrase. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's like we can't do everything ourselves, and please don't expect yourself to solve every single problem in the world. It's like if you have challenges, reach out for support. Lean on other people. That's the best way, in my opinion, to grow and learn. And sometimes it's scary. We're afraid of people judging us. We're afraid that people will be too overly concerning of us. We're afraid of a lot of different things. People might reject us. It might get weird, whatever. But trust the process in a way. So trust your heart too. Trust your heart, okay? And be patient. Be patient. Everything will get better over time, okay? Green Bean, if you're still on, thank you so much for being the conversation starter for today and really diving deep and helping us all open up in this conversation. All of you, Jay Ronan, Kitty, Nelly Carlson, Alexito, Armando. Who else we got? Prime Nick, who hopped on real quick. And sorry, Ventroid. Anyone else that I missed? Sorry if I did. But thank you so much for hopping on. And I see some comments. Nelly Carlson says, very cool and wonderful community, Richard. I see that everyone is here to help each other, and I will love to participate in this as much as I can. Nelly, I'm very honored for that. And honestly, before anyone hops off right now, I just want to quickly say it warms my heart that I'm starting to feel the real community that's happening here. Like, I've always done a ton of live streams, and it's been like people, coming and going. But by the way, fun fact, if you don't know about this, I've done over 300 live streams, mostly on Facebook. I just started doing YouTube maybe 1 or 2 months ago. But this is one of the few, first times I'm actually feeling like I'm starting to understand who each one of you are. I'm starting to understand, oh, hey, it's Kitty. Hey, it's Jay. Hey, Alexito. Like, I'm starting to remember people's names and know who you are. So to me, that's really important because sometimes when there's a lot of people who come and go, it's like it's hard to remember who's who. But yes, I'm more connected now. So tomorrow is Tuesday. Ooh, I will not be streaming tomorrow. So I need to make a note of that. I will not be streaming tomorrow because I'm hanging out with my brother. We're playing some basketball, grabbing some dinner. Haven't seen my brother in a while, so I got to connect with him. But I'll be on Wednesday. Wednesday's a special day. There might be one stream. There might be 2 streams. One of you, one of the Facebook versions of you. His name is Kevin Vo. I'm doing a live stream with him. He wanted to do a live stream together, so we are going to be live streaming together. Maybe that'll be at 8 p.m. The YouTube one, or maybe I'll just do it an hour earlier on Facebook. Either way, I'll let you know. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good evening if you're here in the States. If you're somewhere around the world, have a wonderful day. Okay. Yep. Feel free to shoot me a message if you have any questions or you want to chat in that way. Okay. Good night, everyone. Bye. Woo.